Today is finally the day where I get to predict the entire 2025-2026 NFL season. The schedule had been released yesterday, and now I get to predict every single game and seeing how far I've gotten. So at the end of the 2025-2026 season, you guys can comment, or you guys can comment whenever. And just, I can't wait to laugh at how bad this will probably be. But either way, sorry didn't post the video last weekend. I was pretty busy. All right. So to start off, this is week one. So September 4th to 8th. So to start off, we got the Chiefs versus the Chargers. And also, by the way, I haven't been paying much attention to the NFL recently, but like about the draft and stuff because I don't know what's going to happen. So this is like a very prediction. So to start off with the Chiefs versus the Chargers, I'm going to put the Chiefs on top as much as I hate to do it. So that's a decent way to start off. Next up, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Jets. I feel like the New York Jets are able to pull off this one. I feel like they've got a pretty good draft order. I feel like they can do well. Same with the Dolphins. I feel like they're underdogs. I know the Bengals are going to really want to win this year, so they're going to pull out strong in their first game. Las Vegas Raiders versus the New England Patriots. I heard the Patriots are actually going to do well this year, so I'm counting on it. All right. And now the Titans versus the Broncos. All right. The Tennessee Titans. I feel like not Will Howard, sorry. Their new quarterback, Cam Ward, I think. I think he can pull the job against Bo Nix. I think it'll be a pretty close game, though. Next up, we've got, pretty good one, Ravens versus Bills. This is always a classic it's like David and Goliath, except both are, like, good. Either way. I don't know. I'll give a slight edge to the Buffalo Bills, though. Next up, we've got, the two cats. Panthers versus Jaguars. I feel like the Jaguars won't be able to do anything much except for, like, the London games, so I'll pick the Panthers. And I'll give a slight edge to the Rams, even though they lost Cooper Cup. I still believe in them. CJ Stroud, I feel like is gonna have a decent junior year. Next up, we've got the Cowboys versus Philadelphia Eagles game. Easily the Eagles, reigning Super Bowl champions. Why not? I also heard the Cardinals are pretty good, so I'm gonna pick the Cardinals over the Saints. And next, don't ignore these ads. I'm not sponsoring anything. The Falcons and the Buccaneers. I'm gonna pick the Falcons. Commanders easily beat the Giants unless I'm completely dumb or whatever. Um, Next we got. I'm gonna pick the Seahawks. Although I'd unfortunately like to see San Fran win. How am I saying that? Next up, we've got my boys, the Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. All right, I'll pick the Lions. I feel like they can pull it off against the Packers playoff team. And then the Vikings versus the Bears. I actually believe in the Bears since they have Caleb Williams. They didn't do a good freshman year, but I feel like they'd be able to do well. Next up, we've got week two. So for the Buffalo, two battles in the AFC East. So the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. I'm going to give it to the Buffalo Bills here. And now the Patriots versus the Dolphins. I'm going for the Patriots. I have to. I feel like they're going to do well this year. Now it's time for the Bengals versus Jags. I feel like Jags might do it, but I believe in the Bengals. Next up, we've got the Browns versus the Ravens. Well, they've got Shador Sanders. I don't think he'll do pretty well, but maybe this is like a fluke game, like the Lions always lose in week two. Next, we've got the Broncos versus the Colts. I'm going to give it to the Broncos. I feel like they're going to be dominant this season. Next up, we've got the Chargers versus the Raiders. The Chargers or the Raiders? I'll pick the Chargers, although I'll pick the Raiders for an upset. Next up, we've got the Titans versus the Rams. Battle of a rebirth of teams. Rams are my third favorite team or my 10th favorite team. I'm not going by favorites, but Titans. I'll pick Titans. I feel like another upset would be good here. Next up, we've got the Seahawks versus the Steelers. I'll pick the Steelers. I feel like they do well. Super Bowl rematch, baby. All right, we got Bills are coming off a mini bye, whatever that means. Oh yeah, it makes sense because they start on Thursday and then yeah. I'm gonna give it to Kansas City because The Eagles beat the Chiefs in their rematch in the Super Bowl in 2023 season. I feel like that'll happen again. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Los Angeles and the sorry, why am I the Chargers? I'm gonna give it to Tampa Bay. They're gonna actually do pretty well this year. Next up, we got Commanders versus the Packers. I'm gonna give it to the Commanders. They're gonna do well. And then Cowboys, I'll give it to the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys, but still, I don't think the Saints will do very well this year. They haven't done much. Lions easily beat the Bears. Ooh, battle. We're already coming fresh up here for the second week. Let's do Panthers beating Cardinals. And then finally, we got the Vikings versus the Falcons. I'll give it to the Vikings here. All right. Week 3. Next up, we've got, another AFC East matchup. The Bills versus the Dolphins. Sorry. Um, I don't know, dude. Probably, I feel like the Dolphins will be able to pull up something. I know the Bills are pretty dominant this year. Actually, the Bills. Never mind. Bills aren't. Dolphins are going to do well this year. Next, we got the Colts. I feel like the Colts aren't doing much this year, but I feel like I got to give it to them just this once. And then the Patriots will beat the Steelers. And next up, we got the Texans versus the Jaguars. Well, I'll give it. Nah, give it to the Texans. And then another AFC West matchup. We've got the Broncos versus the Chargers. I feel like Justin Herbert will be able to pull this one off. Ooh, Bengals versus the Vikings. This will be fun. So I'm gonna have to give it to the probably have to give it to the Bengals. I feel like they can pretty dominate. Actually, I'll give it to the Vikings. Next up, we've got the New York Jets versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like Tampa Bay is like the safe option here. Ooh, next up, Raiders versus Commanders. I feel like Raiders would easily. I mean, Commanders would easily win that. Next up, we've got Green Bay Packers versus the Cleveland Browns. Um, give it to the Packers here. And we got the Chiefs versus the Giants. This is easily the Chiefs. I have to hate to say that. Next up, we got the Ravens versus the Lions. As much as I really want to pick the Lions, realistically, the Ravens are going to win here. Although I think it'll be a close upset. Although I do predict the Lions to have a slightly probability to win. I think the Ravens should just pull the upset. Next up, we got the Ravens versus the Chargers. I'm going to give it to the Ravens once again. I mean, like, not the Ravens. What am I doing, dude? All right. I'm giving it to the Eagles against the Rams. Next up, we got Falcons versus Panthers. I don't think the Panthers will be able to hold on their stretch here. So I feel like the Falcons will be able to pull it up. Next up, you've got the Saints versus the Seahawks. I'll have to give it to the Saints here. And then Cardinals versus the Niners. Ooh. I'll give it to the Cardinals here. And then, Battle of the Terribles. Probably give it to, like, the Bears. Is that everyone? Because whenever I do these tier lists by myself, not tier list, but, I always forget, like, someone. So, week 4. Ooh, this will be fun. Okay, anyone have a bye? Coming off a mini bye. So, are the Jaguars playing? I know they're playing in London soon, but all right. The Titans versus the Texans. I feel like the Texans probably win this one here, 2-2. Next up, we got the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Ooh, classic battle. I'll give it to the Chiefs here, though. Where are the Ravens, chat? Am I tweaking? They're 1-3. Hold up, chat. This doesn't feel right. I don't think Lamar Jackson will do well this year. Ooh, Jets easily beat the Dolphins, so they're back to 2-2, still in playoff contention. And then easily Bengals beat the Broncos. They've stacked up their defense. Now we've got the Vikings versus the Steelers. I'll give it to the Steelers for this one. And then next up, we've got the Panthers versus Patriots. Easily the Patriots. Ooh, 4-0 seems a little bit weird. I'm not saying that, like, it just feels off. Next up, we got the Chargers versus the Giants. I'll give us upset to the Giants here. Still doesn't affect them. Um, I thought the Packers were on a bye for a second. Next up, we got the Saints versus the Bills. I'm gonna pick the Bills easily, and easily the Lions, dude. Lions are gonna crush the Browns. Next up, we got battle of the famous cities. Either way, I'm gonna pick the Rams over the Colts. All right, next up, we got the Niners versus the Jaguars. I feel like the Jags will be able to pull off this one. If it's thinking mode. All right, and now we got the Bears versus the Raiders. I'm gonna give it to the Raiders here. So the Raiders are 2-2. Okay. Next up, we got the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. I'll give it to the Seahawks on this one. Actually, the Cardinals I feel like they'll be able to pull off. At least the Thursday night football games will be better than the ones last year. Or the Bears and the Raiders. Are you kidding me? Or whatever that matchup was. Either way, the Eagles versus the Buccaneers. I'll give this upset to the Buccaneers here. I feel like they're able to do well. Next up, we got the Commanders versus the Falcons. I'll give an upset here again. It's just the fourth of the season. I feel like injuries are gonna frequently happen. And now we're gonna do Packers versus Cowboys. Oh, that classic rivalry. I'll give a slight edge to the Packers, though. I feel like it'll be a close game. Next up, we've got Week 5, October 2nd to the 6th. All right. The Texans versus the Ravens. I'll give it to the Ravens here. Next up, we've got the Raiders versus the Colts. I feel like the Colts will be able to do well on this one. And we got the Bengals. No, not the Bengals. The Patriots versus the Bills. Easily the Bills. Patriots are now 3-2. Chiefs versus Jaguars. This is gonna be my biggest hot take of the season. Jaguars upset Chiefs. Upsets have happened before. The Bills remain the only team undefeated this year. So far. The Vikings versus the Battle of the Norths. Different conferences, but either way. Vikings versus Browns. I'll give it to the Vikings here. And I think the Cowboys will actually push through. Will do well. Next up, we've got the Eagles versus the Broncos. I'll give it to the Broncos. They're going to actually cook this year. I don't know why I had them at 2-3, but 400%, 40%. Next up, we've got the Dolphins with the Panthers. I feel like the Dolphins will actually be able to do something. Next up, we've got the Titans versus Cardinals. Ooh. I'll give it to the Titans here. And then next up, we've got the Commanders versus the Chargers. Again, another upset here. I don't know why they're 2-3. And next up, battle of my two favorite teams, but I have to give it to the Lions because they have a better team. I'll actually go to that game. Maybe I'll see one of you guys there. Either way, the San Fran versus the LA. Let's go. LA easily. All right, next up, we got the Giants versus the Saints. I'm going to pick the battle of the two worst teams. But I'll give it to the Giants here. And then finally, Buccaneers versus the Seahawks. Give it to the Seahawks. Although I think the Bucks, they're 3-2. That makes sense. All right. Next up, we got Week 6. So currently, right now, Bills would be playing. The Bills maybe 2, maybe 7. Bengals. All right. Either way, you guys got it. Coming off a bye. So the Steelers are the first ones we see to come off a bye. We can see the Packers do too, as well as the Falcons and Bears. So the byes are starting to come. Next up, we've got the Broncos versus the Jets. I'm going to get the Broncos to make a comeback. I feel like Coach Sean Payton is going to give them like a pep talk or whatever during the season. Next up, we got the Steelers versus the Browns. I'm going to give it to the Steelers here. And then Chargers beat the Dolphins. If I can click. All right. And then we got the Titans versus the Raiders. I'll give it to the actually. Wait, where are the Raiders at right now? How are they 3-3? Hold up, this doesn't seem right. And I also know that, but like the Titans are doing well too, so that makes sense. I feel like this is gonna be an interesting season. Next up, we've got the Seahawks versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll give a slight edge to the Seattle Seahawks here, although I think the Jaguars are doing decent this year. I don't think they'll actually do well. Either way, Los Angeles versus the Ravens. I'll give it to the Ravens. They've come off a mini bye, got some players recovered. Matt Stafford probably going to cook. Ooh, next up we got Colts versus Cardinals, but I'll give it to the Cardinals. Right now the Cardinals are 4-2. That makes very sense. Next we got the Patriots versus the Steelers. I'm gonna give an upset here. The Steelers beat Patriots. And then we got Bengals versus Packers. Ooh, I want to put it at a tie, but I don't. But I can't. Hmm. Bengals. This is like very like deadlocked. Like I feel like this will be like a very very close thing. But I feel like the Packers will be able to pull it off. Sorry, Bengals. Oh, Lions versus the Chiefs. Easily the Lions. I don't know. It'll be definitely pretty hard for Lions, but they will definitely pull it off. Ooh, the Bills versus the Falcons. We're gonna get our first upset for the Bills this year. No more undefeated teams, and then easily these beat them. And we got another a little bit of an upset because Niners are coming off a mini bye, beat the Buccaneers, and then we got Cowboys versus Panthers. I'll give it to the Cowboys just this once. Um, and then we got Bears versus Commanders. I'll give it to the Commanders. We're on week 7. All right. For next up, we've got the Bengals versus the Steelers. I'm gonna have to give it to the Bengals. I feel like they'll be able to outdo the rest. So currently, they're first in their division. Next up, we got the Patriots versus the Titans. I'm gonna have to give it to the Patriots here. They're working with something, and easily the Chiefs beat them. Dolphins versus Browns. I'll give it to the Browns here. I'm sorry. I know I watch Tyler Sports. He'll be very mad if he watches this, but it's not my problem. I'm just predicting. The Colts versus the Chargers. I'm gonna give it to the Chargers. And now AFC versus NFC. We got the LA versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Dang, LA's doing pretty good. I feel like they'll be able to continue this stretch, but then eventually lose. Next up, we got Panthers versus Jets. I'll give a slight edge to the Jets, but I know Panthers will do very well this year. And how are they 3-4, dude? Nah, bro, this freaking powerhouse of a conference, dude. All right, next up, we got easily the Broncos beat them, and then Seahawks are like in the middle. What are they right now? All right, that seems about right. 3-3. Texans are 2-3. I know the Texans want this win bad because I know it'll be a bit of a rough house. There we go. And now we got the Eagles versus Vikings. I'm gonna give easily win to the Eagles, and then I'm gonna get the Saints to beat the Bears. Next we got Cardinals versus another great match. Like Packers will have a hard schedule this year, bro. I'll give it to the Packers though. Washington versus the Cowboys. I'll give it to Washington. Falcons, Niners, and then Lions playing Monday night. All right, bet. Lions beat the Buccaneers. Whenever it's Sunday Night Football, Lions cook, or if it's NBC. All right, next up here are the standings right now. So the Cardinals will make the playoffs, play the Commanders. All right. Next up, we've got the Bengals versus the Jets. Well, I'll give it to the Bengals here. And now, uh, the Browns will play the the Pats. I know the Pats will do pretty well, but actually, I feel like they hit a bit of a roadblock. So the Browns come back in. Next up, we've got Titans versus Colts. I think like uh, the new quarter Cam Ward. He'll do great for like the first half of the season, but then I feel like he's gonna have like a downfall. Next up, we've got the Vikings versus the. We got a lot of AFC versus NFC. Vikings versus Chargers. I'm gonna give it to the Chargers. Vikings are 3-4. That sounds about right. I don't think JJ McCarthy will do well. Next up, we got San Fran versus the Houston Texans. Give it to Houston. Bills versus Panthers. Easily Bills. Dolphins, they'll be able to squeak one in. And then easily the Ravens beat the Bears. Broncos win. Green Bay versus the Steelers. The Steelers here. And then Washington versus the Chiefs. Ooh, this will be a bit of a dogfight, but I'll give it to the Chiefs here. Next up, easily win and pretty much easy win. So I'm guessing the Lions have a bye week, week 8. I think that's not that bad. All right. Next up, we've got the Ravens versus Dolphins. The Ravens are gonna keep pushing, still work on it. And now the Broncos versus the Texans. The Broncos are gonna do well this year. I know. Chargers versus the Titans. Give it to the Titans. And then we got the actually Chargers beat them. And then we got Colts versus the Steelers. I'll give it to the Steelers here. And then Jaguars versus Raiders, the battle of the worst. I'll give it to the Jags. How did Jags bump up to 11th place from 16th? Dude? Next, ooh, classic matchup, dude. Bills, you always beat the Chiefs in the regular season. I cannot not go with that pattern. And then, oh, we got the Bears versus the Bengals. We'll give it to the Bengals here. And then I'll get the Patriots slight edge over it. Packers lose to the Panthers. Vikings? Lions are playing at home, and they really don't like the Vikings, and we always beat them at home, so. Oh, New York Giants versus the Niners. I feel like the Giants will, actually, the Niners will get another dub. Now we got Saints versus the LA Rams. I'll give it to the Rams. And then easy win. Yeah, team's on bye. Week 10. Ooh, Bengals and Chiefs are on bye. All right. Ooh, we got some battles in division here. Oh. And then we got a little next up. He's played. No. All right. We got the Vegas Raiders. Vegas Raiders. I don't know why I said like that. They're gonna lose to the Broncos. Jags. Texans. No. No, they're still gonna do well. All right, we got the Jets versus the Browns. I'm gonna give it to the Browns. Another hot take here: Dolphins beat Bills, and then Pittsburgh Steelers versus Chargers. Give it to the Steelers here. Actually, I don't think that Steelers will do as well as I think. So give it to the Chargers are number 2, baby. All right. All right, we got Falcons versus the Colts. Give it to the Colts. Another dub for them. They're always like the mediocre team. Falcons are 4-5. I can see that. Ravens versus the Vikings. I'll give it as much as I think the Vikings will still do well. Actually, give me a win over the Ravens. I'll give us a little bit of an upset. So Patriots lose. So they're like doing mediocre. Giants versus Bears. I feel like Bears really want this one. Same with the Saints, but Panthers will pull it off. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals. Ooh, it's at home, but they're not really bit of a home team. But like LA's had that. Ooh, against the Commanders, I have to have an upset alert. This is at home too, so I can't argue with that. Next up, we got easily. All right, we are week 11. Ooh, we got some battles here. Got some division battles right here. Ooh, some more. All right, so this is like a division for the AFC, but the NFC. Oh, we got some. Oh, ooh. Yep. Jets versus the Patriots. But Patriots are at home, but like their fan base, like they have this motivation. They're 5-5. Like they're 50%. Feel like a good the Patriots. Like they really want like to win the Super Bowl. Texans beat the Titans. Bengals beat the Steelers. Makes sense, yeah. Jaguars. Nah, I feel like a bit of an upset here. Chiefs versus Broncos. Oh, this will be fun, dude. I'll have to give it to the Chiefs though. Next we got Ravens versus Browns. I'll give it to the Ravens. And we got Commanders. Sorry, Commanders beat Dolphins. And then we got Tampa Bay versus Buffalo. Give it to Buffalo, and then give it to Cowboys. And then we got Vikings versus Bears. Give it to the Vikings here. Panthers beat the Falcons. Yeah, Packers beat the Giants. Ooh, I'll give it to the Seahawks over Rams. And San Fran versus Arizona. And then, Lions really want this one, though. Like, Dan Campbell's going to give him, like, a pep talk. Aiden Hutchinson's going to be on fire. But don't be misunderstood. I feel like it's not over. Next up, we're heading to Thanksgiving. Wait, right? Oh, Lions playing. I think it's the next week. Um, Bills play against the Titans. But what? I am tweaking today. All right. Bills beat Texans. Chiefs beat Colts. I'll give it to the Patriots. Ravens beat Jets. So Ravens are now winning record for the first time. And then Browns versus Raiders. I'll give it to the Raiders here. Steelers versus the Bears. Give it to the Steelers. Then we got Seahawks. Oh, I don't know what happened there. All right. And then we got Jaguars lose to the Cards. Oh, easily Lions beat this. I want to go ahead. I'm going to do Vikings upset over Green Bay. Falcons beat Saints. Eagles beat Cowboys. Yep. And yep. Now it's time for Thanksgiving. Oh my god, dude. Why do we always have to play against the Packers and the Bears on Thanksgiving? Like, the Vikings don't even get a chance, dude. All right. Bengals versus the Ravens. I'll give it to the Ravens as much as I wish not to. So the Bengals fall out of the playoff picture because I always seem to screw it up. Jags versus Titans. Give it to the Titans. And then we got Texans versus the Colts. Give it to the Texans. Then Chargers beat Ravens. Bills beat Steelers. Kansas City versus Dallas. Give it to Kansas City. Saints versus the Dolphins. I'll give it to the Dolphins here. They can catch a break. Then we got Atlanta Falcons versus the. We got to give it to the Jets here. San Fran versus the Browns. Give it to the San Fran. Commanders sweep the Broncos. Giants upset the Patriots. Lions had some momentum last year, and they really want to win the Super Bowl this year. So we got the Lions. Philadelphia easily beats them. Tampa Bay beats the Cardinals. Actually, I'll give the Cardinals the edge. And then Carolina Panthers beat the Rams, and then that's it, right? Yeah. Week 14. 4 more weeks to go. Yeah, 14, 15, 16, 17. We got the Dolphins beat the Jets. So 6-7. Actually, that doesn't sound right. I'm sorry, buddy. All right. You want to have a bye? Ooh, we got 4 buys. Oh yeah, 13. All right. Steelers beat Ravens. Why are they 7-6? That doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm glazing the Steelers this year. Right. Colts versus Jaguars. Give it to the Jaggies. And Titans beat Browns. Yep. Ooh, I like this matchup. Bengals versus Bills. Joe Burrow's gonna easily code. Yep. Yep. Is that even a question? Yep. I'll give an upset here to the Packers. Uh, Commanders beat Vikings. Vikings are 7-6, really. Seahawks versus Falcons. Yep. Saints upset Bucks, and then yep. Next up, we got the Chiefs. Ooh, we've got some. We got some battles here in the conferences. Same here. Same here. Same here. Next, we got the Chiefs beat the Chargers. So the Chargers kind of falling off a little bit. And we got the Ravens versus the Bengals. Bengals get it. Bills beat Jags. I mean, sorry, Jets beat Jags. Dolphins lose to Steelers. Cards beat the Texans. 7. Seven's crazy. All right. Bears beat the Browns. Philly easily beats them. Pa- uh, uh, Titans beat the San Fran. Seahawks beat them. Never mind. And then Green Bay loses to the Broncos. Wait, hold up a minute. How is Green Bay 6-8, dude? I mean that sounds about right, but like still. December 18th to the 22nd. Right. Kansas City, I'm gonna give another shocking upset. Titans are gonna pull it off. Again, Ravens are very tight in there. That was what I like. Bills easily win. Broncos win. Raiders versus Texans. Texans win. Bengals win. Chargers win. Saints win. 7-8. Lions win. Fran wins. Chicago beats the Bears. Rams lose to the Seahawks. Ooh, I'm gonna love this match. I'm gonna give the slight upset to actually Eagles win. Then we got Vikings beat them. Panthers, I'll give it to the Bucks, and then Cardinals continue their winning streak. Sweet, the Bills. Wait, hold up. Did I get everyone? Hold up. Bro, I completely forgot about this NFC side. All right. Falcons beat Bucks. Yep. Yep. Yes. Probably. And then up here. Now it's a fresh start. All right. Broncos versus Chiefs. I'm going to give the upset to the Bronx. Chargers beat Texans, although Texans still stay in there, shockingly. And then Lions play it was Christmas Day, bro. That's going to be such a great day for me. Jaguars beat the Colts. So right now, 12 and below are eliminated from playoff contention. The AFC, 8-7, so 13 and below. As of my understanding, and then Patriots versus the Jets. I'm gonna give it to the Jets here. Actually, Patriots. So Patriots. Let's see who's clinched a playoff spot. Oh, never mind. Steelers beat the Browns. Browns just sitting down there. Yeah, they're not gonna do well. They never do well. I'm gonna give another win to the Giants. They haven't won in a while. And then we got the Ravens being. This will be close though. I'll give it to the Packs. Bengals versus Cards. I'll give it to the Cards here. Actually, Bengals. And then Saints can pull it off. And then wait, Lions have clinched the 1 seed, right? Hold up. Let's just see what happens. So I'm just gonna pretend that Lions still take over. I know they're gonna win, but Cowboys versus Commanders. Lions are gonna have a great year. Yep, sounds about right. Yep. And then week 18, January 4th and January 4th. So since the Lions have locked up the conference, they're gonna lose on their bye. Eagles have locked up the 2nd seed, so they don't need it. Ooh, this will be a tough. Never mind. This is a battle for the 2 seed, but it's at Eagles' home stadium, so I'm gonna give it to the Eagles. Oh, why is this stupid ad, bro? Give it to the Eagles here. Let's see how Panthers are doing. Panthers are losing to the Buccaneers, so give it to the Panthers here. Cowboys, they're cooked, but yeah, let's give it to the Cowboys here. And then Falcons in contention? No, they're out, but so they'll just probably just work hard and just win. That's usually what happens. Ooh, wait. So what happens if the Vikings win and the Packers are out? What if the Packers win and they're out? So the Packers will win because they've clinched. Then we got Seahawks versus Niners. See how the Seahawks are doing. Seahawks, if they lose, Seahawks will be 9-8, so they'll still be able to win. So I'll give it to them. Cards versus Rams. Cards have locked up uh, the West, so I'm gonna give it to the Rams. Oh, I forgot about this. Chiefs, didn't they win? Wait, hold up. Broncos win, Chiefs lose. Oh, they're gonna give it then. And so the Broncos know that they won't be able to if the Chiefs win, so the Chargers win it. Um, so what if what if the Titans make a big comeback? Hold up. Titans win, Houston loses. Houston still clinches the 4th seed because that's like the best they can do. So that makes sense. And since the Titans know that they'll be eliminated, yeah, they'll stay there. Bengals have locked up the North, I believe, right? Yep. And so they'll just give it to the Browns. Bills have locked up there. Dolphins, Patriots locked. No, Patriots just want to stay alive, so they're gonna win that. All right, Ravens and they'll be able to push. And then, yep. And next up, wild card baby. So the Bills and Lions have a bye. So now it's time for playoffs. All right. We got the Chargers versus the Texans. I'm going to give it. So Texans are home, and they can be pretty insane. But I don't think CJ Stroud will be able to pull it off. Next up, we got Bengals versus the Patriots. Sadly for Bengals fans, I'm gonna give it to the. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna give it to the Bengals. Chiefs versus Broncos. Wow. Um, Chiefs versus Broncos. Hmm. Upset alert. Broncos beat the Chiefs. All right. Next up, we got Commanders versus the Panthers. Vikings versus the Cardinals. I'll give it to the Cardinals. And then Eagles versus the Seahawks. Eagles will win. Now it's time for the divisional round. Wait, what? Dude. Hold up. All right. Bengals win. Bills win. All right. Then Bills will beat. Bro, what's happening? All right. Either way, divisional round, since we're going to just predict it. So the conference championship, Bills win. So in this scenario, the wild card round. Oh shoot! I haven't picked all the NFC teams, bro. That's why it's tweaking. All right, Eagles versus the. I'm gonna start with it. Eagles beat them. Lions will get their freaking revenge. AFC, Bengals, Bills. Ooh. Lions play home. They're gonna go to the Super Bowl. They're gonna go all the way. I feel like we're getting more unrealistic. Yep. And the Lions are your 2025-2026 Super Bowl champions. Thank you for watching. So I just want to make it like. For a screenshot. But thank you for watching this video. It is 42 minutes and 43 minutes. I will see you in the next video, and sorry about the delay of the video from last week. Thanks for watching.